Lots of interaction is key. The more interaction, the more visible your LinkedIn profile will be. Recruiters are actively on LinkedIn looking, so if you want to find a different career pathway, you need to be actively showing them that you are there. Welcome to the Workforce Link podcast, where we're offering forward-thinking conversations for the workforce, linking employers and job seekers to a brighter tomorrow. I'm your host, Sunday Jo Graham with the Central Workforce Development Region, and I am so glad to be back with you for another episode today. You know, LinkedIn can be an excellent tool for your job search, especially if you're using it the right way. I've had friends recruited on LinkedIn, some found jobs, some connected with those in their fields who wanted to collaborate on projects. There really are so many uses to having a LinkedIn profile. You know, whether you want to get a job referral, get noticed by a specific recruiter, make a new connection in your industry, we're going to talk about some ways to use LinkedIn to increase your chances of landing the job that you are hoping for. Before we do that, though, before we dive into today's episode, I have a question for you. Are you enjoying this podcast? And if the answer is yes, would you mind sharing it with a friend or coworker who would enjoy it as well? You know, maybe you have a friend looking for a new job and they could use some tips on how to utilize LinkedIn for that. And if you haven't already, would you mind leaving a review for the Workforce Link wherever it is that you enjoy listening? We are forever grateful for your feedback. Let us know what you enjoy about the show. It really does mean a lot to us, and it helps us stay visible so that others can easily find us. All right, now let's dive into today's episode on how to upgrade your LinkedIn profile to get the job you want. If you want to utilize your LinkedIn profile to open doors to new opportunities, here are some specific steps we're going to talk about that you need to take. Step number 1, use appropriate keywords in your profile. So, we've talked about this in past episodes, the importance of using appropriate keywords in your cover letter and in your resume, especially when it comes to applying through an applicant tracking system. And we've talked about this in depth in previous episodes on understanding hard skills, understanding soft skills. I'll actually share the links in the show notes to those if you want to go back and listen. But keywords are important. So, when an employer or recruiter is searching for the right candidate, they're usually using specific keywords like the name of an employer, job title, maybe a specific skill set. And if you don't have any of those keywords in your profile, they won't be able to find you in search results. So you want to make sure that your subheader, which is the headline right below your name, has specific keywords. You also want to do it in your summary, your work experience, your descriptions, under your specialties. And if you want to make sure you're using the right keywords or you need some tips on other ones to add relevance to your experience, go look at other job postings that have common words, common phrases in them, and then you can tweak those to apply those to your profile. You have to be searchable, right, for people to find you, and this will help. So you want to make sure that you use appropriate keywords in your profile. Number 2, ask for recommendations. So another thing recruiters are looking for is whether or not you have recommendations on your profile. Are others willing to endorse your work? Are others able to verify that you have the skills and talents that you're putting on your profile? If employers or recruiters see that you actually have recommendations, they are more likely to spend more time looking at your profile, which is great for you, right? So, a recommendation is not the same as a professional reference, but what it does is it allows the recruiter to see that others are vouching for a specific set of skills that you might have. And it encourages employers or recruiters to want to stay on your profile for a while, to want to read further to see your experience, your skills, etc. And like I said, the longer that they spend on your profile, the better that works for you, right? So you want to make sure that you ask for recommendations. Hey friend, just want to interrupt for a quick second to tell you about something really amazing that's happening in the central region of Missouri right now. Are you a business owner or manager who needs assistance increasing your profit margin and building a stronger workforce? Now is the time to take advantage of our employer services. The Central Region Missouri Job Centers are ready to help. Available at no cost to you, we offer a variety of employer services, including job matching, consulting, work opportunity tax credits, on-the-job training, incumbent worker training, transition assistance, and more. You can get all the details at cwdregion.com/employer services. That's cwdregion.com/employer services. We look forward to assisting you with all your employer needs today. And now, back to the show. Number 3, you want to be an active voice. it's really important to stay active on the LinkedIn platform. Otherwise, your profile has less of a chance of staying in front of your contacts. The more you show up on LinkedIn, the more you literally show up in the feed of your contacts. Maybe consider joining group discussions that are specific to your industry. So, for example, say you're working as a social media manager. So, you want to go in and you want to join discussion groups around the topic of social media marketing, right? And then if you want to narrow that down even more, say you're really great at Facebook and that's where you spend most of your time working. Go find a discussion group that's focused solely on Facebook marketing and share your expertise in there. Ask questions in there. And also make sure that you're commenting on other people's posts. Share what they're sharing with your audience because this keeps you on their radar again. And then you also want to create your own content. Share something new that you're learning. Share things that establish you as an authority in that field. If you're working in IT, you know a lot of things, right? Start sharing the things that you know about the IT world. Share some simple tips that could help other business owners or employers because this then gives you authority in that market. And lots of interaction is key. So the more interaction, the more visible your LinkedIn profile will be, right? Recruiters are actively on LinkedIn looking. So if you want to find a different career pathway, you need to be actively showing them that you are there, okay? So you want to make sure that you are being an active voice. Number 4, LinkedIn is all about networking. So you want to be networking. It's all about making new connections. But you don't want to just go connect with everyone for the sake of connecting, right? You want to connect with those who are relevant to the industry that you're in or the industry that you want to be in. So the more connections that you have, the greater the chance of your LinkedIn profile showing up. So here's an example. Say you're connected to 3 other people that the recruiter is also connected to. They will be more likely to visit your profile in more detail versus somebody that they have no related connections to, right? And making new connections is just good practice, really. Networking and building relationships is extremely important. And if you're trying to get a job with a specific company, one of the best ways that you can get your foot in the door is to get a referral from someone who knows you. And maybe you don't have that direct connection with the recruiter, but one of your other connections might have that, right? Well, if you build good rapport with them, they'll most likely connect you with the person that you want to be connected with. Now, let's talk for just a second about the industry you're in. So maybe you're wanting to use the same skills and talents that you have, but you're not wanting to stay in the same industry that you're in. That's happening all the time, right? And that's okay. Join what you're interested in and learn how to discuss those transferable skills, those skills that you can transfer to any job. So, example, maybe you're currently working in the healthcare industry, but you want to move into the banking industry. Well, guess what? Customer service is definitely a skill needed for both of those, right? And depending on what your role was or what your role is, find those skills that you know can be applied to the banking industry and start having conversations with those in that field, okay? You want to network, network, network. Okay, so let's go over what we just talked about on how to upgrade your LinkedIn profile to get the job you want. Number 1, you want to use appropriate keywords in your profile. Number 2, ask for recommendations. Number 3, be active. And number 4, network, network, network. You do these 4 things and you are setting yourself up for success, my friend. So good luck in your job search. And if you need some assistance with interview prep, we have some free workshops available for you at cwdregion.com/workshops. And I will also share the link to that in the show notes for you. So that's it for today's episode. Have a great week, my friend, and we will meet again in the next episode. Until then, remember this: there's always a brighter tomorrow if you're willing to find it. The Central Region Workforce Development Board Incorporated and COPIC are equal opportunity employers and programs. Auxiliary aids and services are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Missouri Relay Services at 711.